We are here at Firewater in the university area. And once again, Isadora is a credit counselor and she has her own business doing it. And I'm just going to ask her some questions and hopefully she will answer them for me.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so let us know, how did you get started with credit repair?
I actually got started with credit repair because I was one of the people that needed their credit repair. So I was looking for a company, trying to figure out how to get things like medical bills. I had a foreclosure on my credit report. My credit was just shot, to be perfectly honest. I'm also a licensed real estate agent, so therefore working with people who wanted to buy homes, but then we'd find out they couldn't qualify due to bad credit. So that was the second piece of it. So when I found out there was an opportunity for me to get trained and become an agent, I thought, wow, and I can get my credit repaired and help people get that dream home that they're looking for, the cars that they want to buy, or even get a job.
Oh, wow, that is fascinating because unfortunately in the Black community, a lot of us don't know about, how detrimental good credit is, and how detrimental bad credit is and what it can do with you trying to buy a car, with you trying to buy a house. It can do a lot of damage. And unfortunately, when I grew up, we didn't learn about credit. My family didn't learn about credit. And I think a lot of households, Black households, did not learn about credit. So I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. So tell everyone, how do you teach this? Like, where can they go to find you? And, how often do you hold your seminars?
Okay, so our seminars are every Monday night here in Charlotte at the DoubleTree Hotel Uptown, located at 895 West Trade Street. Okay, so we hold the seminars. And one of the things to go back to the credit in the community is that financial education services, our flagship product is credit repair. However, we have a product called Protection Plan Membership. And with that membership comes 12 additional services, which helps to educate the members of our community or anyone that enrolls in the services about the importance of financial literacy, the power of credit, how important it is, and that, like you said, bad credit is definitely detrimental to anything that we do in life today. It is so important, and so my part too is to educate. Once someone enrolls in the program, I am with them from the beginning all the way through to make sure that they are getting educated. I am help educate them, giving them the tools for them and the children. So that's a plus with our company as well. We have a program called the Youth Financial Literacy Foundation. $2 of every payment they make on a monthly basis is donated to the YFL, which helps us and allows us to go into the schools and educate our youth from the ages of 8 to 18 on the matters of personal finance and how important credit is, so they don't end up in that vicious cycle that we have been a part of all our lives, of bad credit, at a very young age.
Excellent. And so if I came to you and said, Isadora, I need some help, what would your pricing be like? Would it just be based on how bad my credit is, or like, do you have different packages that you offer people?
Actually, the package and the monthly price is the same for everyone because everyone gets the same product and the package, what's included in the packages. So it's $89 per month. Okay, and like I said, $2 is donated to the Youth Financial Foundation Education. And other than that, it's an enrollment fee. But when you come to me, the one thing I do first as a credit specialist is I sit down with you and we have a consultation. So I'll go over with you what are the things that's on your credit report that are having a negative impact on your credit score. Once we establish that, I then find out what are your goals. What are you trying to meet long and short term? So what can I do to help you meet those goals while you're going through this process? So is it home ownership? Are you looking to buy a car? Are you looking to get a job? So that's first. And from there, we get you enrolled. Now, I do have a team of credit attorneys, and that's very important. So once we get you enrolled, you get all your information. We verify social security number, driver's license, proof of address. Once those things are verified, then our credit attorneys step in and they'll sit down and analyze every negative item on the credit report. From there, they'll start to use and leverage every law of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which was established in 1971. That's what they'll use to then create those dispute letters. We'll send them out to all three, not one, but all three credit bureaus. Absolutely. And so that makes the process really, really quick.
Things that us as Black people, we have done to hurt our credit. And as I stated before, we don't grow up actually knowing what credit or good credit means or what a credit score is. What are some of the things that's harming our community when we're applying for these credit cards or we're going to buy cars and, you know, we get turned down? What are the main factors?
Okay, so the main factors, and mainly in our community, as you stated, we were not taught. Our formal education system did not teach us about the matters of financial literacy and how important credit is. And that's part of my job, and that's why it's so important to me that I reach the people, I reach people in our community to make sure they have these tools. You know, I have them now, so I'm willing to spread. You know, spread the wealth and the knowledge, absolutely. I find that in our community that we go out, we buy cars that we can't afford. We're constantly applying for things over and over again, which is completely damaging to your credit report. What happens with the credit bureaus and the lenders and financial institutions is when they see that you're constantly applying for things over and over again, they look at you and truly look at you as desperate for credit. You're desperate for credit. So that's one of the things that I definitely want to teach as well. You know, apply for 1 or 2 credit cards, leave it there. Don't apply for anything else. Say we get you a car. And the main thing, because I'm a realtor, it's very important to me to educate on first-time home buyers. You know, a lot of us in our community don't have homes. We're renters. We don't buy homes. And so I'm a realtor. I got into this business to help people buy a home. That's it. So that's why it's important to have the credit piece as well, because it's not as simple as people think to just go, oh, I want to buy a house. You know, go out there and buy a house. No, your credit has to be together. Your finances have to be in order. Your bank account has to be in order. It all ties into financial literacy. Tips.
And what are some of the tips that you would give to, let's say, a person like myself who I am wanting to buy a townhouse in the next year or so? What are some of the things that you could say to me that would help me get started to get into your program? Like, are there any prerequisites for your program?
There are no prerequisites for the program. Mainly just obviously people with challenge credit. That's the perfect credit. That's the start of coming into the program. Also, for someone like you, first-time home buyer, you want to make sure that you definitely file your taxes. That's another thing that's an issue. You have to have the lender is looking for 2 years worth of filed taxes, the past 2 years, okay? You definitely want to set a savings account to the side, keep money in that account, and don't touch it, because they want to see how you can save money. Okay, you may end up having a big down payment. You don't want to run in the last month, 2-3 months, and try and get all this money together at one time, because they're definitely watching that and looking at that. You want to keep an eye on your credit. You want to maintain a perfect credit score, as perfect as possible. You know, they're looking at maybe 650 and above, and 650 is low, and to be honest, 650 is just in the fair range. 650 is in the fair range. It used to be a time where 650 was considered good credit. It's not anymore. 720 and above is considered excellent.
Oh, okay. That is some really great information. What would you say about the other like credit programs they have out there, like Credit Karma, Wise Piggy, I believe one is called. Do you have any information on those, or what would you say to those?
Everybody uses Credit Karma. Everyone uses Credit Karma. And I will say, as a realtor, even I was a realtor before I became a credit specialist, I found that Credit Karma is not accurate. So everyone looks at those numbers and think, well, Credit Karma said my credit score was, 700, and then when the lender goes to look at it, it's only 620. It could be that far off.
Okay. So I know a lot of people depend on Credit Karma, to get an idea of, how their credit is going. But so there you have it, everyone. And I want to thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And you have been a pleasure and a joy. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your